Hey there, this is Casey, and I got some great news. We're just releasing a free course, and the link is going to be in the description, but I want you to see everything that's included. First thing you want to know is that it's based off of my book here, The Complete Trading System, and I am now delivering this here, and it's got a lot of detail. So I'm going to take some time, and I'm going to go over the whole course and all of the stuff that's involved in it, because this is awesome. Okay. And we put a lot of time and effort into this. So I really hope you appreciate all of the work that we're doing. So the first thing is we're going to go over the foundation. And this is really important, guys. The foundations for trading. I hear traders all the time and they're like, hey, I need a system. I need signals. What's your win rate? How much money do you make? You know, all of these different questions. And to me, as soon as I do that, I'm like, hey, you need to go back to the basics because you're asking the wrong questions, right? A key trader needs to have a solid foundation. It's kind of like jumping to the very end of the line and you're trying to do advanced things before doing the basics. It's the whole concept of learning to crawl before you can run, right? And so that's why we put in a solid foundation. And I know a lot of people don't want to take the time to do that, but it's just so important. So we've got what is trading, really basic stuff there. We've got and it's not boring though. It's basic, but it's not boring. How do you trade and make money? You know, that's a simple question. The reality of our markets, that's really important. It's how market works, the game of trading, different platforms, everything you need to know about brokers, right? There's so many different things that traders need to understand about brokers and how all of that stuff works in the markets. Okay. So then the second module, and I'm going to dive into these in this video to kind of get you an understanding of how it all works. But the second module is what is technical analysis, support and resistance, trend analysis, right? So this is the how-to stuff of trading, the stuff that you really need to understand. Like, okay, how do you find all of these different levels? How do you find a support level, which is right here? How do you find a resistance level, which is right here? How do you find a trade breakout, right? How do you know how to use which moving averages to use? How to know what indicators are? How to know what those indicators do, what each one does, and how important it is for your trading, right? All of those things are critical to understand. And we show you how all of that stuff is. And we talk about price action. You know, how do we do price action? Actually, a video that I'm going to be releasing very soon is, a price action pattern that I like to call the hot dog. And my good friend Stellian, who's a pro trader, he taught me that price action strategy. And since then, it's become bread and butter for me. And that's why, I've learned from pro traders and I like to pass it along. But like this is a hot dog pattern, right? It comes down, comes up, and it's crunched in. And then when it breaks out, it forms a hot dog. So I teach price action patterns like that in the course. Okay. Very good stuff. Then, we put it all together to find the actual trades, right? How do you do it, right? Because what we believe is we really believe in trends. Okay. So you can see just by looking at this chart, right? All I try to do, it's really simple, but the course breaks it down so that you understand. I could show you this in like 10 seconds, what I do. It's like, okay, this is what I do. I find trends. What direction is this? Oh, it's moving up. Okay. What do we try to do? The trend moves like this. Okay. Now what else? Well, we try to find pullbacks in trends. Okay. So what is happening right here? We got a trend up, moving up, moving down. What's happening? And they don't always look like what you see here because this is the real chart, but what's happening? It broke out. Oh, now we got the breakout. Awesome. Okay, so now that the breakout happens, what do we have? We have a price action pattern. We've got the hot dog pattern. So step number 1 is we find a trend. Step number 2, we find a price action pattern and we find a pullback, right? And then we look for the entry, the volume, and the price explosion to confirm the entry to get us a solid trade, right? And then we throw that all together with solid money management. You throw all of those things together and you got yourselves a pro strategy. And it takes some time to learn all this stuff. It takes time. You're not going to figure it out on the first day. You've got to practice. You need to ask me questions. You need to watch my YouTube video. You need to get into the charts and do your homework. It's not going to happen right away, but it will happen as you practice, right? So that's what we talk about. We put it all together. Then we talk about multiple time frame analysis. Let me just give you an idea here. This is a daily chart, but wait, what else is there? Well, we can actually go down. We get the overall trend on the daily. And then we can go down to a lower time frame and see what's happening on lower. Okay, on the lower time frame, you can see it's ranging, but we pull back here, but we have a nice key level right here on the lower time frame. And so when I see that, I like to draw these little rectangles right here, and it's like, oh, okay. It looked good on a daily, but now I can really see what's happening. So you use one time frame to be your lead guide, and then you use the lower time frame to tighten in your entries so you can increase your size, right? It's all part of trading and learning to become a master trader. That's what we want to help you guys do. Okay, so the next part is we're going to talk about different strategies, different setups, trade examples, and then money management. Money management, we have 2 segments on. It's so important. It's absolutely critical. You've got to learn how to manage your money. Just like you got to learn how to manage your bank account in your own life. You got to learn how to not spend everything that you get. I look at it like, okay, in real life, we have money. But we can either spend the money on stuff that we want or we can invest it in stuff that's going to yield a harvest. I always like to look at everything as a farmer. I'm not a farmer. I've never farmed. I've never even grown anything. But I know that if you eat your seed, you're not going to get a harvest. And I look at money as a tool. Money's not good. It's not evil. It's just a tool, and it's like a seed. And if you get that hand of money and you eat it, or if you get that hand of seed and you just eat all of your seed and you don't sow it into the ground, you're not going to reap a harvest. And so we want to teach traders those types of money management concepts, right? Because when you begin to see the harvest is going to be plentiful, and it's great to apply in your own personal life as well. Right. And so those types of things are super important to becoming a successful trader. So we've got 2 modules on money management, and I just stick around and watch the rest of this video because we got a bonus too. And then we talk about the trading journey. Traders, they go through some stuff, right? They go through peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys, peaks and valleys. As a trader, you go through all those things, and you need to know how to navigate. You need to know how to navigate those valleys, because what I find happens so much is traders go like this, and they're like a moon, like to the moon. You see that, to the moon, all the time. And then what happens is they don't realize that when they're going to the moon, they're going down to the pits. To the pits, to the fiery pits, to the depths of the sea, to the darkness, to the hot stuff, to the danger zone, right? And then what happens is they're gone. That's the end of their trading career, or they can't handle it. Just too many ups and downs. And so you got to look at trading as a journey, enjoy the journey, and go for the long haul. Okay. And too many traders just don't understand how that whole process works. Okay. And it's absolutely critical that we learn and we look ahead and we plan and we look at it as a journey. We take one step at a time. I always look at it. I always go back to my 70-mile hike is one of my milestones. And I'd always look at those mile markers and I'd say, okay, I've got to go 70 miles, but I'm just going to focus on the next mile. Okay, now I got to go 68 miles. I got to go 50 miles, but I just 1 mile in front of the next, one step at a time. Just look at the big picture, but then narrow in on the short term, and don't let the emotions take you out of it, because they will if you let them. Okay, now we also talk about trading journal. We talk about a process and a plan, and I I love this stuff. I think you're going to love this course. So once you go, let me know in the comments how you feel about this, but you're going to love this. Okay. So once you go through this, you're going to learn that the most important part of trading is your process. It's not whether you make money. It's not whether making money is important. We do this to make money, but it's about the journey, and it's about progressing as a trader and your daily process. I grade myself not on if I made money that day, but if I followed my process. Okay, did I take care of myself? Did I follow my plan? Did I follow my risk management? Did I enter at the proper time? Did I do everything that I needed to do? If I do everything that I needed to do, I know the end result is that I will make money. I will reap a harvest. I will take my seed and I will sow it, and it will be really good. And it will yield a harvest, a massive harvest. But see, most traders go through ups and downs based on if they made money that day. And they get all emotional. They get all crazy. They don't actually follow the process. Okay. And so it's so critical that you're grading yourself on your process and not in if you made money that day. Because if you focus on making money, you're going to have highs and lows, and you're not going to make it. You're not going to survive. Okay. And then we're going to talk about the trading journal and review and trading psychology. All of those things are really critical, which I also do talk about them in my book as well. And I do believe that the book is a little bit better than, the book is not as long, but the book has some unique things that are in it that are not in the course as well. So they're both good. I recommend you try them both out. Okay, then the last part, okay, this is some good stuff because we have advanced trading techniques in here. And then we also include quizzes. So, we want to make sure you're learning it. And then the last one, this is a bonus, and this is big. This is a strategy vault. Look at all these strategies we've included here. So you can take what you've learned and you can begin applying them to all of these different free strategies. You're not going to get strategies like this. These strategies, okay, so the course itself is valued at like $497. I think it's valued at like $2,000. But these strategies are all valued at about $497 each. And we've thrown in a ton of them. So enjoy it and just have a good time learning, enjoy the process, and just click that link below, get the free course. And by the way, give me a comment, a like, let me know what you think of this video. Let me know what you think of the content. But I really appreciate everybody who's